All right, bet we are back, episode 163. As you can see,
53,
Zoom.
53.
Oh, 153. Zoom pod. We are back in the building, kinda back in the dual studio. Go ahead, talk to Rock.
What's happening, y'all? What's happening, y'all? It is great to be back as always. Had to hit you with a double whammy this week. You know what I mean? Because we took a
Yeah.
2 week break. That means 2 episodes in a week. But we will be getting into this Patreon. As we've been promising, it is officially time. Me and Ish we be here together. We be like, all right, it's time to lock in. We gotta lock in a
Yeah.
little more. So we time that we getting it with the Patreon, the 2016 review of the albums that we did, the 10 years in review. We're gonna start that back up next week. So be looking out for that. But this will be on Patreon as well. So please subscribe in the link in the bio on YouTube, patreon.com/nothing ATL, and like, subscribe, and comment as always. How you feeling, Twin? How you feeling?
Feeling good. Big news day. I'm glad we kind of set this up perfectly. A lot of stuff falling into place. You know,
Yeah.
big basketball week, big football
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. Really it's really fun to watch how sports has become a real 24-hour news cycle. It
Man.
was like when I was a kid, but
Mhm.
air quotes, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now it's really on first take. The NFL in March is leading segments. And then
Yeah.
you go into basketball, then back to the NFL, then basketball, then the World Baseball Classic, then the NHL. Like the sports
Yeah.
world is just it's booming, man. It is
Yeah.
booming.
Could you imagine how lit Sports Center would be like 30 minutes before school when all the stuff niggas gotta cover now? Like,
Yes.
bro, that
Yes.
used to be like our 24/7 coverage was like, yo,
Yes.
these 15 minutes, like, we're gonna hit
Yes.
8 different topics. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I touched on it last show. We got it. We got to start with the B more man. Madness is happening in Baltimore, dog. Straight madness. So those of you, if you guys have been living under a rock, I don't know how you would have missed this if you're a football fan, but the Baltimore Ravens signed were traded for Maxx Crosby, the first round pick this year, first round pick next year. Two first round picks. They get Maxx Crosby to consume his contract, and it comes out they were going to extend him, and they wanted to add Trey Hendrickson to pair up with him.
Right.
A couple days ago, Maxx Crosby has his physical with Baltimore, and it
Hmm.
doesn't go well. The medicals come back, and it's like you sold me some re-rock. I
Yeah.
don't really like what I'm feeling. I don't really like what I'm feeling. So
Yeah.
EDC, the Baltimore Ravens GM, and Steve Biscotti, the owner, come together. It's like, hey man, I think I want to rescind this trade. And now Maxx Crosby is a Raider. Trey Hendrickson did get signed to a 4 year, $112 million contract,
Mhm.
and the Ravens keep their draft picks. Right after that, they signed the Patriots former safety Jordan Hawkins. They
Mhm.
signed the Bears backup tight end from last year, and a few more acquisitions, and Azuke from last year.
Right.
Azuke. So
Mhm.
they got some players back, got their draft picks back. Now they can go tackle a wide receiver if they want to. Ish, what are your thoughts on the trade? I'll get to some more specified questions first, but what's your
Yeah.
just the overall reaction to
Yeah,
the
genuinely one of the funniest news stories, like one of the funniest notifications I have gotten to my phone in such a long time. Like, it's so funny, and I feel like I have a unique perspective because I once was in like a 32-man Madden league
right?
where this was a thing that could happen where you agree to a trade, you hit that nigga the next day trying to get the trade done, niggas not responding, niggas not checking their phone. And then all of a sudden, the weeks in, ain't no trade. So I find that absolutely hilarious that an actual NFL team reneged on a trade.
Mm-hmm.
They want to say it's his physical. I mean, he just had surgery. I feel like what was in that physical that you did not know going into whatever trade negotiations. Um, they do say that they wanted to pair them, but I do feel like, I feel like they came out, everything rolled perfectly. Like if this was just the plan, I feel like this was, a great pivot because you keep your first round picks. This is a great draft, and the Ravens had a pretty good pick. They weren't at the back of the draft like they usually are. So you get Trey Hendrickson, you get elite D line help, you keep your two picks, you can address stuff other what places, but absolutely hilarious for Maxx Crosby. Like I wish we knew more. Like I really want to know what happened.
I agree, bro. I really want to know what the medicals say. Hold on,
Yeah.
let me. I got this notification popping up. You know. The
Mhm.
Mavs be doing it at the bottom of the screen. All the way. But yeah, bro, I really want to know what happened in the medicals that they didn't know when they traded for him, because it's a lot of things you have to disclose before you trade for a player. So,
Mhm.
what did the Raiders not disclose, or what did the Ravens find out between the 24 hours he was in Baltimore and 48 hours he was in Baltimore? Because I Maxx Crosby is in the class of he can win you a championship.
Yeah,
like
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 top level
his
D line.
yes, Micah Parsons, Maxx Crosby, Nick Bosa, obviously
Miles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, and
Yeah.
TJ Watt. That class of defensive linemen are game wreckers, game changers. So
Yeah.
you're hurting. You hurting. When I got that notification, twin, I
Yeah.
was flabbergasted. I was in pain because not only did you lose the draft, not only did you lose Maxx Crosby, you also missed out on so many free agents and lost so many players of your own because
Yeah.
you had Maxx Crosby and were trying to get Trey Hendrickson, and then you're going to work everything else after that. So
Yeah.
I was before we got Trey Hendrickson, I was like, oh my God, this is worst case scenario. I was like, bro, they're gonna miss the playoffs again.
Yeah, they got
Like,
worse
this is
everywhere.
horrible.
They got worse
This is
everywhere.
it got worse everywhere. So let's go to something we're never gonna do again until maybe 2028.
Yeah,
But let's jump to the Raiders' point of view.
right.
uh,
Yeah.
do you feel like they got hold? You feel like they should feel a type of way about how this played out for them? Because now they owe a lot of free agents money that they signed. They don't get
Yeah.
the draft pick they thought the two draft picks they thought they were going to get, and now they have to continue to pay Maxx Crosby, who they've had a so-so relationship with the last 6 or 7 months.
Right. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like that nigga scaled your shit. Nigga looked at it like, yo, you said this is Indo? Like, nigga looking at the league. Like, it really like you try. I don't know. If from both sides, it looks weird. From the Raiders side, for me, like, it looks like you tried to, like, I don't want to say get over it, like you tried to settle niggas submit or something. Like, oh yeah, they thought his meniscus was getting trimmed. Nah, that nigga needed a whole meniscus tear repair or whatever the case may be. But it really hurts on the draft side of things. This is a
Yeah.
loaded draft. The next draft is a loaded draft. Maxx Crosby doesn't fit the timeline of their team because they have Genty now, they have Bowers now, they're gonna have Mendoza in a couple of months. All those guys are super duper young. And while Maxx Crosby is demon, he's kind of sir, he's put in his time. Like, you've been a Raider this long, bro. Like go somewhere else and be free. So I wouldn't be surprised if they still try to trade him. It's gonna be way harder to trade him now, especially because he's been returned once, because it's just gonna look a certain way. A couple teams have been mentioned. The Patriots lost a couple edge rushers. Of course, the Eagles have been mentioned with them. I think not the Rams, the other
Bills.
team. Yeah, oh, the Bills mentioned getting him. Like let's say tomorrow, the Bills trade for him. Now Ravens fans are like, what the fuck were they okay with that we were not? Because from my fan perspective, you talked about how great Max Crosby is. Like, shit, I don't care how hurt that nigga is now. Like, he could, like, I would take a 40% Max Crosby now and let him work his way up because we are a great team, and let him just rehab and recover because he's gonna have to rehab anyway until he's all the way 100. I feel like unless it was a definitively career altering injury, I do not know how you return Max Crosby.
I completely agree with that, bro. That's why it was so frustrating, and it's still a little frustrating for me. Although the outcome was, if I gave you two options and I picked option A first, had to return it, and got option B, I would be sad. But all good things considered, not too bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's how I feel about this move.
Right.
But when I look back on it, I always thought everybody was putting too much emphasis on the first round pick, because in my eyes, I was telling everybody you should look at it as one first round pick. The first round pick this year is Maxx Crosby.
Yeah.
like
That's a
that's
fact. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why that was so complicated for people. You traded
Right.
your first round pick this year and drafted Maxx Crosby with it. That
Yeah.
is not complicated. So next year, if you handle your business and you go to the Super Bowl or you're in the AFC Championship, you will be picked 29 through 32, which ish is a second round pick.
Basically, right. Yeah.
so I never really thought the two picks were a big deal. I saw a report today that EDC and the staff felt that it wasn't a this year problem, it was in the future problem. So if you're going to give up players in the future, then you want this player to be able to play for 3, 4 more years. And with the medicals, they were saying he might have a year or two left in him, and then that knee is just going to go away, and it's going to
Okay.
be no we can do. So if
Yeah.
that's the perspective, then I do understand, but
Yeah.
in 2 years, Trey Hendrickson is going to be 34.
Listen, Mark Andrews
So,
will be out there in 2 years.
so if you knew you were going to get Maxx Crosby back this year, and
Mhm.
you knew, and we're pretty sure you would have him next year, I don't see why you don't do the deal, especially when you don't have to re-sign him. You could have just had Maxx Crosby for 2 years. And I
Exactly.
believe that if the Ravens say we get a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl appearance and we go 1-1, and Maxx Crosby blows out his knee and the third year, God forbid, knock on wood,
Right.
obviously, but he blows his knee out in the third year,
Yeah.
and we don't have the two draft picks from 2 drafts ago.
Yeah. Who
I don't
cares?
really think anybody cares.
Let me ask you. Let
So
me ask you. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Rams fans regret trading for Von Miller because his leg stopped working after they won the Super Bowl? Nobody cares. Von Miller got to Los Angeles, helped to win a Super Bowl, and was terrible after that. And they let him go be in Buffalo after that, and it was what it
exactly.
was. But like, especially when you are this good, and that's why it's so frustrating to see elite organizations who compete because they're elite organizations, and then kind of what the Ravens are doing is like the Ravens compete because they have Lamar Jackson and one of the five best football players on earth. A team like the Rams or the 49ers, or like these other aggressive teams, they are competing because of like the brain trust. And for them to be like, oh yeah, let's do this. We are doing these things, and seeing the Ravens do the complete opposite is so frustrating. Like the Rams had the MVP last year, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey, and they're going out adding players still. And the Ravens, it was like, well, you don't take any big swings on free agency. You don't do any big, really trades on offensive, like especially for young players. Maxx Crosby, wow, Maxx Crosby is a demon. You do get the later end of Maxx Crosby, which is probably the reason that you backed out of the deal in the first place. Because if you thought Maxx Crosby would play for 5 or 6 years, like we are saying, you have no problem accepting that. But because you're so late on the Maxx Crosby sweepstakes, you're only going to get that 2 years out of him anyway.
And from the Raiders' perspective, I meant to say this earlier when I asked how they should feel. Now, you were looking at how you said that Maxx Crosby just doesn't fit their timeline at this point. You were
Yeah.
looking at adding a real weapon to Mendoza for Mendoza
Yeah.
to grow with. So he
Mhm.
was going to have a second year running back in
Yep.
Ashton Jitty, a rookie wide receiver, and then a third year tight end. And you were going to be able to build that offensive line later in the draft.
Right.
So that was, and through they signed Linderbaum $27 million a year for a center is insane. But
Yeah.
I mean, insane-ish. The highest paid interior offensive lineman was getting 18 M's.
Yeah. Shout out to
27
him.
from that is
Yeah.
crazy. Shout out to
Shout
that
out to his
agent.
agent.
But
Yeah.
bad teams have to overpay to get better. That's just the
Hmm.
truth. So I
Yeah.
understand the move. You solidified the middle of your offensive line, got the captain of it, and you could build
Right.
out. And they really were in a position where it looked like, hey man, if we handle the next 2 years right, we could be back in contention in 2029. And
Yeah.
real contention, not play contention. If Mendoza pans out, obviously.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that from their perspective, if I was a Raiders fan or a Raiders anybody on the Raiders staff, I would be angry right now. I would
Yeah.
be angry.
That's
From the
right.
Ravens perspective, I ain't breaking no rules.
Hey,
I ain't
listen,
breaking no
man.
rules.
Listen, I'm a
Oh,
Pats
and from
fan.
the Raiders perspective, now you're not getting 2 first round picks.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky to get one.
Nope.
You'll
You're
be
not.
lucky to get one.
You can't
So
sell it for that price anymore.
and you damn sure ain't getting one this year. So it's probably gonna be one for next year. And with the talent coming out of next year's draft, I don't know if you're gonna get one. So
Yeah.
it's bad for them. But all in all, for the Ravens with their free agency coming out of this, how are you feeling about them?
I feel like this like I mentioned, I feel like this is everything turned out almost perfectly for them because now I feel like you still get that big upgrade at D line, so you still have three elite levels of defense, but now you have resources that you can put somewhere else. Like we mentioned, this is a really good draft, but this is a really good wide receiver draft too. Like they need help out wide. Zay Flowers is about to ask for a new contract, and Alec Pierce is getting 120 million a year. So, do you want to pay Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua money, or do you want to try to go get a number one wide receiver and reset the salary for that position and kind of just have them both for that time. So they have a lot of options. They need to replace their interior line, and they did just sign a tight end, but you still have to think about Andrews, and you still have to think about and they just lost their fullback too. So like, there's a lot of holes they can now try to fill with those two, whichever way they go.
Well, I will say with the fullback situation, Doyle is going away from that. They're going single back West Coast offense, so he doesn't want to play with the fullback. That's why he's not in it. They're probably going to use a tight end more so like a fullback, and because the tight end they signed was a Chicago Bears blocking tight end, so I do believe they'll probably either go tight end late in the draft, or they will go receiving tight end that is late in the draft, or they'll sign one to free agency. It's still a good bit of solid free agents out there. Juwan Jennings is out there. You have I actually it's a lot that got picked up today, so I won't go through the list just in case some more get picked up tomorrow. But Juwan Jennings is a receiver that is out there that I do want the Ravens to pick up if they don't trade for AJ Brown. I do think the Ravens are still going to be aggressive on the trade market for players like AJ Brown, and anybody else that becomes available. I still wouldn't be surprised if they try to add a defensive lineman to pair with Trey Hendrickson and really because Steve Biscotti was like, hey, I'm trying to win me 2, 3 more championships in the next 5 to 10 years, and that's it for me. I want to be done. So I
Yeah,
really think they're trying to maximize this window with Lamar Jackson, try to get him 2 or 3 Super Bowls, and he's going to sell that team. That
yeah,
being said, I do think they are willing to mortgage their future for the right addition, but also if they don't, that guard position, that guard from Penn State is a great would fill their offensive line because I do think they're going to either trade for a center or they're going to sign a center. I don't think they're going to leave that up to a rookie. And then they got the
yeah,
guard from the Jets, so they're going to Simpson, so they're going to have him as one of the guard positions. You get the guy from Penn State, sign a center. Your offensive line is retooled. You're good there. Second round, I believe they'll probably go a defensive line again and go from there. They got their secondary solidified, linebacker core solidified, and then I do believe they should get a weapon, but from and I don't know if this was coaching being just nice to your players and want to say the right thing in the media, but he was like he expects a big year from Walker, Devontae Walker, and
mhm,
Rashad Bateman. So maybe they're just going to leave the receiving core as is. I don't want them to do that. I hope
yeah.
they do not do that. But
Right.
that is what that is the report that came out today from EDC. So
Oh,
who knows? We'll see. But all in all, I'm happy with where the Ravens ended up.
yeah.
So let's move on to the rest of the free agency. Let's just get through some moves. First off, before I even go down the list, what was your favorite move of the? What was your favorite move so far?
Um. Oh, Kyler to the Vikings. Kyler to the Vikings for sure. You know me, I am a Vikings guy. I am
Yeah,
back on the bandwagon for the Vikings.
yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely love it. The Cardinals have had like they're like 1-40. Like no, I'm sorry. They're like 4-30 without Kyler these last 4 years. I think
Yes.
Arizona has been a dumpster fire for so many years. And every couple weeks or so, I see like the same funny article pop up and like a couple sports writers will retweet. It's like, wow, all the first round quarterbacks are now in a new place except for Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Like I am so baffled how everyone could acknowledge Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl last month, but can't see Kyler Murray playing well in Minnesota. I think it is crazy. He's in the perfect position. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, that is a great team, and they still have Brian Flores on the other side. I think that is the perfect fit for Kyler.
So that is one of my answers, and that is something we're going to talk about. So I'll leave that there because I completely agree with you. But I'm going to move to a move that was also made today. Actually, stop real quick. Let me give a shout out to Eric Stokes, Mr. COV, 30 million,
Yes,
30 million,
sir.
3 year,
Yes,
30
sir.
million, 20 million guaranteed, Mr. COV,
Mhm.
Eastside High School. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For the Las Vegas Raiders, that defense,
Yeah.
they went and got the whole defense and won that championship in 2023. They got Stokes, they signed Stokes, they
Yeah.
signed Kobe Dean, they
Yep.
signed Quay Walker. They
Mhm.
just was like, you
Yeah.
know what?
That's smart, bro. Fuck the Eagles doing it. Fuck it. Like,
Right? The Eagles
yeah.
did this shit. Why
Brock
not?
Bowers on that team. I mean,
Right?
yeah.
So shout out to UGA, shout out to Eric Stokes, man.
Mhm.
But my favorite move so far that just happened today actually is CJG to the Bills. I hated that
Yeah.
move because I love
Yeah.
that move for the Bills.
That's a
That is
fact.
a great
Yeah.
move. That defense is not good.
Right.
I mean, it's not good.
Yeah.
And one reason that defense isn't good, it don't got no dogs on it. It
Yep.
don't got nobody that instill of confidence and a swag
Right.
and a cockiness to a defense
Mhm.
like the Ravens
Yeah.
have with Kyle Hamilton and the Chiefs have with Chris Jones.
Right.
Go down the list of great defensive players, Steelers and Jalen Ramsey, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
So that was my favorite move for a great team. My
Right.
favorite move for a bad team, Malik Willis, man. Malik
Yeah.
Willis to the Dolphins. I really
That's a
love that
fact.
move. I'm
Yeah.
happy for him. I'm happy he gets that second chance.
Mhm.
Everybody knew he wasn't ready coming out of college, but
Right.
they saw the talent. The Tennessee did the right thing by moving off of him, and he
Mhm.
just fell into a great backup position. And now I do believe that he can make Miami a contender. A read option and a RPO offense with Devon Achane, Jalen Waddle, and Malik Willis, that
Mhm.
can be something.
No, that's definitely a fact. Yeah, shout out to that's the thing. I do like what the Raiders have been doing though, mentioning Stokes. Like
Mhm.
they have been adding the right type of talent. Like if they hit on both of these, like both of their picks,
Mhm.
it's really up to Mendoza because like those first 5 years, but damn, they in the AFC West. Ooh,
I'm not gonna put it all on Mendoza. They
yeah,
got a new coach. They got a rookie head coach,
yeah,
Mr. Clint Kubiak. You got to
yeah,
hire the right coordinators. It's a lot on his shoulders before I get to Mendoza. Mendoza ain't even on the team yet, Shawty.
yeah.
So
That's a fact.
like
Yeah,
like he got to get on the team first. So Clint Kubiak, I'm interested to see how he plays into Mendoza's skill set because
yeah,
although he is the number one pick, this isn't a Cam Newton. This isn't an Andrew Luck. This isn't a Michael Vick, one of those bona fide superstar Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan. It's not one of those cannon arm, well in the pocket, extremely mobile. It's not one of those can't miss prospects.
right,
It is a guy that last year, or if he was in the draft with Caleb, he might have went fifth. Like
right, yeah,
that's the quarterback
right.
we're talking about. So how are you going to build around his limited skill set, especially as a young guy? And the one thing I do like about Mendoza, he has a lot of starts under his belt. So I do think he's going to work. I do think Clint Kubiak is a great coordinator, comes from a great family tree, comes from a great family tree, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, look,
So I believe that the Raiders are on the up and up as well. Some more
yeah.
moves just throughout the week. Oh, I'm lying ish. I'm sorry. I'm Malik Willis. I was trying to be cool to you, dog. Trent McDuffie to the Rams. What the fuck, bro?
Yo, I forgot.
What,
I
bro?
it's crazy. I mentioned it a second ago and completely forgot about that. Yeah,
Bro, bro, I just looked down at my phone and saw his name and was like, nah, bro, that's my favorite move. I'm sorry, audience. I lied to y'all
that
like a
hurts
motherfucker.
Kansas City too. That hurt
Boy, that
Kansas City
hurt.
a
That
lot.
hurts Kansas City.
Yeah.
Um, and then they got the other one. They got my boy,
Was it
oh
Ward?
shit. Yes, Ward. They got
Andre.
Ward, bro.
Yeah.
Um, that boy, oh boy. So
Him and
they
J Ram? Woo.
they fixed
Yeah, that
they
was a good
had
play.
one weakness and
Yep.
they fixed it.
Literally. That's the thing. I love the Rams. They go get players. They needed a
Yeah.
corner. They got Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey left. They went and got Trent McDuffie. Like
Yes.
they are aggressive with their high leverage positions and they go get players like that. Because Trent McDuffie is like, of course, it's weird in Kansas City because like people really don't get the credit they deserve, and their defense is kind of like everyone knows they're great, but nobody like other than Chris Jones don't get like the big name guys like Trent
Yeah.
McDuffie, all pro corner, one of the best in the league.
Yes. Yes. Excellent man to man corner.
Yeah.
That's going to make a giant difference for the Rams. They
Mhm.
are my immediate NFC Super Bowl threat pick
Yeah.
or pick whatever you want to call it, favorite. That's the word.
Yeah.
But DJ Moore to the Bills, we got Kyler Murray to the Vikings, Tua to the Falcons, Rashawn Gary to the Cowboys, Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. Another move I do love.
Mike
We
Evans.
have CJG to the Bills, Jahan Dotson to the Atlanta Falcons. What are some other moves that
Mike Evans to the Niners.
Oh, Mike Evans to the Niners.
Yeah.
We have John Simpson to the Rams. That's the guard I was just talking about, guys. Tyler Huntley re-signed with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips, big deal for the Carolina Panthers, which was a really big deal. And I like what the Panthers are doing over there. I like what they're doing.
Yeah.
A sneaky move. The Bears got younger and better at safety, getting off of Kevin Bernard and moving to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Kevin Bernard did go to the Patriots. Not a
Yeah.
bad player by any stretch of the imagination. Please don't think I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant is
And
extremely good.
him and Byard and Vrabel go back to Tennessee together too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, they do. And then I believe that the Browns traded for the center, Elton Jenkins, from the Packers. So a lot of good moves. Those are the key moves. J.K. Dobbins re-signed with the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater back in the NFL, back
Yeah.
up for the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
So a lot of great moves. You know, what was your most surprising move before we get out of here? Get off the NFL. Excuse me.
Shout out Kevin Wilds. Got to be Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans. The writing was kind of on the wall with Ibuka having that like month when Mike Evans wasn't there, and he was like the best rookie receiver ever for that month. Like,
Yeah,
so you kind of knew he wasn't going to stick around. But damn, seeing Mike Evans leave Tampa Bay is crazy.
it is. It really is. My most surprising move, but under a move I love, was Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs.
Mm,
I knew that I kept hearing
yeah,
they were going to get off of it, but seeing the notification come through my phone was still like, damn, really? They really
yeah,
did that. And then him and a Super Bowl MVP immediately leaving his team and going to another team that's probably going to be right back in the Super Bowl sometime soon. It's really
yeah.
crazy. So
That's crazy.
that was definitely my surprise.
Yeah.
But let's get back to Kyler before we get off, go to the NBA.
Mm,
You said something very
mm,
important when you were talking. I
yeah.
don't know why people watch Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl and think Kyler Murray won't work in Minnesota. I, I have no idea. Like,
I physically don't understand it.
I do not know what people are thinking. I think this is a match made in heaven for both of them.
Oh yeah, it is.
This is best case scenario for Kevin O'Connell's coaching career, for Kyler Murray's quarterback career. I
Yeah,
believe they are in the same exact situation. Not I believe they are in the same exact situation as they were with Sam Darnold. 1 year prove it contract. This time, if he proves it, you sign him and you stay there.
yeah. Yeah,
You
I
can.
mean, see, like just schematically, and this has been like a football nerd interest kind of like background story I have been following. All the Shanahan disciples and all the West Coast guys are secretly trying to be the first to mix it with a mobile quarterback. Because Kyle
Yes.
Shanahan tried to be the first one when he traded 30 billion first round picks for that light skinned nigga. And then now Kevin
Trey
O'Connell,
Lance.
yeah, for Trey Lance. And then Kevin O'Connell, he tried to do it with JJ McCarthy a little bit. Because
Yep.
remember when JJ first got there, he was running a lot of read options and stuff.
Yep.
Now we will finally get to see because they're gonna still do the zone read. They're still gonna do
Mm-hmm.
all the motion with Jettas and Addison and
Mm-hmm.
Hawkinson and all their elite weapons, but also they are gonna run Kyler. Like for a play
Yes.
caller going into next season, this team looks terrifying because for the first
Yes.
time in Kyler Murray's probably life since he was the best high school football player ever. Shout out to the niggas from Texas who will happily tell you he's the best high school football player ever. And in college and in high school, he won't have to be the best player on the field. He will not have to be the best player on that team. He will not have to be the guy to carry them in situations. And behind all that, Kyler Murray is way better than Sam Darnold. Like this feels like Stafford to the Rams, kind of more than Darnold to the Seahawks, because like if this hits, he's going to be in Minnesota for a very long time.
I completely agree. At 29 years old, 28, 29 years old. A
Yeah,
critique I keep seeing that interests me is, well, Kyler Murray wants to be the guy on the offense, and he kind of wants to play the style of football he plays, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, yeah, you can kind of have that attitude when you get that second contract that you making more than everybody in the building.
yeah,
But when you lose that contract
mm,
and when you get cut and they say, hey, we would rather pay you that $40 million to not be in this building than have
yeah,
you in this building. When they
mm,
look at Jacoby Brissett, who is a journeyman backup, and say, hey, he's our starter instead of Kyler Murray, even if Kyler Murray gets healthy, and then they go on to not win another game,
yeah,
you have to look at yourself in the mirror.
right,
And as professional athletes, I do think professional athletes are arrogant. They have to be. I do think they're cocky. They absolutely have to be. They're overconfident. They absolutely have to be who they are. But they
mm,
also have to be more self aware and more self critical than anybody else on the planet.
right,
That being said, I do think Kyler Murray is going to take a look in the mirror and look and think to himself and say, how can I be better? And when he does that, he's going to come out better, and so will Kevin O'Connell, because I don't know if it was Kevin O'Connell, I don't know if it was a GM that got fired that made that decision, but whoever made that decision, if it was a joint decision, it was clearly the wrong one. So they both have some ground to make up, and I absolutely think they can and they will do it together. That Vikings team is scary. The best part about it for me is Madden 27.
They are nuts, bro. They are gonna be like Kyler's skill. Like that's the thing. Kyler has such a unique skill set, such an athletic gift. Like we were talking about, it's crazy. Just flashback like a couple months ago. Who's gonna be the best quarterback in the NFC? It was like shit, probably Caleb. The Caleb Kyler in division rivalry by itself is super interesting just because how similar of a story they have, both being Oklahoma quarterbacks, both being on their second coaches. He's gonna have an opportunity to prove a lot of people wrong about Kyler because this is the thing the Cardinals are ass, but also nobody watches them either. Like, it's a difference
Yes.
between being really bad and people are watching you still. Nobody watches the Cardinals, so you don't see like the Kyler stuff unless it's really, really bad on Twitter or like the
Yeah.
occasional highlight. Like Kyler can make every throw. He's extremely mobile. And like Kyler is very, very accurate. Like he's not a mobile quarterback who has to run around. So having
Yes.
weapons like Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, like they're gonna be terrifying.
Yes. And Kyler's 2020 and 2021 years early in his career, when he had an adequate coach and he had an adequate offensive personnel, he was good and he was able to lead the Cardinals to the playoffs. So I
Right.
do think a more mature Kyler Murray with a better coach and a better offensive weapons and a better defense can absolutely get the Minnesota Vikings back to the playoffs where they believe they belong.
Mhm.
I am expecting him to do that. And if he isn't able to, that's it for him. If you can't
Yeah.
make this work, that's it for him.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
somebody is going to get the best offensive coordinator in football next year.
That's a
Because
fact. Yeah.
O'Connell is out of here as well if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If they're stupid, like I think they might be. I don't think he should be, even if Kyler Murray implodes, but I
Right.
do believe he will be. And like I said, somebody will get the best offense coordinator in football. So shout out to Kyler. I'm very excited for them. I'm expecting big things. They will be a threat to win that division because that roster is disgusting.
That's right.
Happiest person of the day, Mr. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. And shout out my boy Sean. Shout out Sean, Sean, a Vikings fan.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Sean. All right, man. Let's jump to the NBA. Boy, it's
Boy,
that
listen.
time now. It's feeling good out here. It's energy feeling good. I'm liking the
Yeah.
games. I'm liking the physicality. The refs not calling them ticky tack fouls. We got a
Yeah.
lot to get to, but we got to start with Bam Oh Bam.
Yep.
Bam Adebayo scored 83 points.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I thought that shit was fire. I think it's weird because niggas know me as the hating guy. So like a lot of niggas like I was in the PlayStation party. Niggas were expecting me to kind of like shit on the Bam 80 83. I'm kind of in the middle with it both. Like I don't think first just off for Bam, beautiful addition to his career. He's in Miami. He took him to the finals. They rebuilt. They got rid of Jimmy Butler. They've been trying to make Tyler Hero be a superstar for 10 years. They asked, he don't got nothing to play for. I think this is fire. Go for 83. Fuck it. I think, listen, super fire. I don't think it takes away from what Kobe did. I don't think it has any bearing on what Kobe did. Kobe didn't have a fucking record. It doesn't matter if somebody else passes him, but I thought it was fire. I think I'll remember it kind of like the Devin Booker one, but I thought I my to answer your question like on the face, my first reaction, like what I'll always remember is the first quarter more than the rest of the game. And I don't know which one is more
Absolutely.
impressive, but I feel like that is a different argument that people are missing. Like I like scoring 30 in the first quarter is damn near more impressive than scoring 80 through four quarters the way it happened. Like you
Yeah.
was on pace for 120 points, like in
Yeah.
regular hoop. Like
Yeah.
so that's definitely my reaction.
All right. Start off nice. Um, I'm happy for Bam. Nothing I say when I start screaming is directed toward Bam Adebayo. I do not care that Bam
Or Asia
Adebayo
Wilson.
is. Our Asia, absolutely not. Why would I do that? Why would you ever even think
Shout out
about Asia
Asia.
Boy?
Yeah.
That young lady, boy, she's so fine. But
Yeah.
Bam, I'm happy for him.
Mhm.
Ish painted the story for you exactly very well. I have nothing to say. It is a cool moment for Bam Adebayo. For
Facts.
everybody else involved, that's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And the last 7 minutes of that game was nasty.
Dick ride.
It wasn't basketball. And
Mhm.
this is the question that I'll end it with that. Bam Adebayo after the first quarter was 10-27. Bam Adebayo shot 43 free throws with the NBA record. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan's career high for free throws was 27. He
Mhm.
shot 16 more free throws than the two greatest players ever have ever shot in a basketball game.
Yeah,
The most
43.
free throws Wilt has ever taken in a game, in one of the games he scored 70, was like 31.
Yeah, Shaq never got 43 free throws.
Shaq never got 43 free throws. Shaq never got 30 free throws or
Yeah.
35 free throws. So like I I it's disgusting. It's nasty. Intentionally fouling.
Oh,
Intentionally fouling so you slow the game down and keep getting possessions.
yeah.
That's disgusting.
Up
7 of
20.
22 from 3. That is disgusting. You're just throwing shots up.
Yeah.
After the first quarter, I am going to repeat, he was 10 of 27. This was not one of the 10 greatest scoring performances that I've ever seen.
No.
So that's why it's so nasty, because you're second in all-time record books, and it wouldn't be one of the 10 best performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't
Not
even know
even.
if it'll be 15.
Not even.
So uh, it was just so lackluster and just downright unenjoyable for me. And I'm not. Hey, look,
I was just say it's a lot of Kobe stuff behind.
look,
It's a
bro.
lot.
I know
It's
it's a
a
lot of
lot of.
Kobe up there.
I'm
It's a
counting the
lot of
Kobe.
Kobe
It's
up
like
there.
four Kobe's behind you. I think.
I know. It's a high school Kobe Bryant jersey right there. I get it.
Yeah.
Get it. Has nothing to do with Kobe Bryant. And that is not a lie. I tell the truth on this show. I have integrity. I'm not lying to you. I will come here and tell you I'm hating because it's good for ratings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hating. I'm just
Yeah.
telling the truth. It's nasty. I
Yeah.
will ask you this. It's like it said, by the way, like it don't take nothing away from Kobe. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows that Kobe scored 81 points. Like Bam scoring 83 points don't mean Kobe Bryant didn't do that no more. Like I don't understand. Like we're grown, bro. We're not 16-year-old stands, bro. We're not about to, oh my God. Come on, bro.
Like niggas wanted me to, like niggas thought I was gonna be like niggas were trying to like bait me into being mad. Like why like it has nothing to do with what Kobe did, bro.
They was like, oh yeah, they not gonna be able to use that in GOAT debates. Like, you think I can't use the nigga scoring 81 points in a debate about his career? Like,
Yeah,
what?
fuck.
Okay, regardless. So I'll leave you with this.
Mhm.
If what you saw with Bam became precedent, and
Right.
every single time somebody got to 65, 70 points,
Mhm.
that happened in the last 7 minutes of the game. Imagine you saw exactly what happened 3 times
Right.
for the rest of this season and then 7 times next year. And
Yeah.
you had by the end of next year, you had 8 75 plus point games, and 2 people had scored over 85 points.
Yeah.
And it was every single time that was how it happened.
Yeah.
How do you think the NBA Twitter, and NBA fans would be reacting to that?
Yeah. That shit's corn on the cob. I think missing free throws on purpose to get the ball back is super corn on the cob. And the way I looked at it, it was like, man, Heat fans ain't got shit to root for. Eric Spoelstra ain't got shit to coach for. Wizards ain't got shit for to play for. Like, yeah, that was cool. But it also was like, I'm glad it was Bam. Like, if Luka did that shit tomorrow, niggas would deport him. Like, niggas would fire Luka into the sun. If the Lakers were up 25 and they were intentionally fouling because Luka had 70, like, I am happy it happened to Bam because it's a lot of NBA players who would not have gotten this reaction. It's really just
No.
because Bam is such like a neutral figure in
Yes,
sports. Niggas didn't
absolutely.
have like a big reason to hate on him. But if that was like, bro, Luka scored 70 with like 15 free throws, and people were leading shows the next day, like, is this what's wrong with basketball? Like, what do you like, is this the problem with the game of basketball today? Is this why nobody likes the NBA? Bam, them niggas are intentionally fouling up 25 on the Wizards who have their backups in the game to get Bam more chucks at the rim. Like it's and just to put a bow on the Kobe thing, the direct comparison to it is probably the worst comparison because you scored two more points, and every other aspect of the Kobe game was way better. Like they were down 20 in the third quarter. Kobe had to score that many points in a row for them to get back in the lead. And they didn't even take the lead till you had like 60, I think. Like it took a long time just to get back in that game. It's just completely different.
Nah, people have been like, "How you say that's lame?" But Kobe Bryant got 7 free throws after he was up 15 points. I said, "Are you comparing him getting 7 free throws in the last minute and a half of that
Yeah.
game to Bam Adebayo intentionally fouling people for the last 5 minutes of the
Yeah.
like? What are
He
what are
shot
we
40
doing?"
free throws.
He shot
No,
40
just
free throws.
all right, this is the part where I'm starting hating. Like, I've seen plenty 40-point games way more impressive. I've seen many 40-point games that was way more impressive.
Kyrie's 57 was way more impressive than that.
Easy. Listen, James Harden 2017 versus the Warriors, that 40 ball he put where he
Yes,
cleaned Draymond again,
yes,
way
yes.
more impressive. Way
The
more
60 point
impressive.
triple double.
Yeah, like
Like
so many things. Yeah. But
so.
hey, so
Well,
salute to Florida.
salute to Florida, salute to Miami for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Salute to Asia Wilson last
that's a
time.
fact.
So let's jump into the to the playoff teams. Let's jump into the contenders. Get the people what they want, man. So
Yeah,
OKC Boston playing right now. Victor Wembanyama and the Nuggets. Actually, Victor Wembanyama was just been ruled out actually, so he's not playing tonight. But the Spurs and Nuggets do play night, so a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of the heavyweight matchups going on. We'll start with your team, the Spurs. How
yeah,
are you feeling? They've won 16 of their last 17,
yeah,
which is absolutely insane. Victor Wembanyama right now is in the MVP discussion. He is averaging 29, 24, 25, 11, and 3. And they are 8-1 versus the Pistons, OKC, Denver, and Boston, which is the top 4 teams in the league. So
right.
they are hot and
Yeah.
they are clicking at the right time, having a lot of young talent coming together, and a veteran point guard leading the charge. How are you feeling about your team? And do you feel that it is fair to say that they are the number one uh, threat to OKC?
Yeah, I think first of all, and of course, because this is my show and this is my team, I'm put a little fan hat on because I mean I'm gonna spread the propaganda because we won, like you said, 16 of the last 17. Victor's for sure the best player in the NBA today. Like accolades, playoff moments, all that other stuff that's going to decide how people view you for your like remainder is up to be determined. But just playing basketball, Victor Wembanyama has been on like a minute restriction almost, where it feels like we're. You ever hear that story about Derrick Henry? It was like, yo, after we scored a third touchdown, we're up with Derrick Henry. He can't run the ball anymore. Like Victor is coming in for 28 minutes, destroying the best teams in the league and sitting back down. It is the craziest shit I've ever seen. The impact. So since the All Star break, he's been at 4 blocks a game. The second best is at 2. But what is so impressive now is he needs to manufacture these blocks because people won't even try him anymore. He's literally inventing ways to trick people into think he's not looking so he can turn around and block it. But what going back to the start of the year when you asked me what I wanted to see from this team, everything I hoped that was going to happen for this team has happened. I didn't want Fox to have a really big role early because we have young guards that are still establishing themselves. He did not come in and immediately impress on a big role. He's given Fox, he's given Castle, he's given the younger players a lot of room to run the offense. And Stephon Castle taking that step. Carter Bryant coming in the rotation now every night, guarding Tatum, hitting corner threes, being athletic. And lastly, the defense. It is that I watched the Pistons game start to finish. I really because of course my pop's a Pistons fan, so watch the game start to finish. That defense is it's like waves of elite generational talent. It's like, all right, are you gonna score on Stephon Castle and Carter Bryant? Okay. Are you gonna do that with Victor Wembanyama behind them the entire game, actively rotating? And another thing that we're seeing where it's kind of getting a little it reminds me of like the '08 Braun kind of thing, where they realize they have somebody on their team where they can just do whatever they want. They are starting to buy into the alien shit. And that is the most scary thing. Like, there's been 5 or 6 times it's been a broken play. The ball is at half court. And an NBA player on a court with 10 other people, they just throw the ball towards the rim in his general direction and he dunks it because there's nothing anybody can do. I think they look terrifying. I don't think there's a team in the league we could not beat, and I don't think there's a team in the league that matches up with us well other than Denver, kind of. And then in the Denver matchup, I kind of like us because we have the size and strength to guard Jamal Murray. I think that is the hidden key in the Spurs thing. Like, if you are not watching the Spurs every night and you want to know why, even though they had Victor last year, they're way better this year. We probably have the biggest, most athletic group of wings left in the NBA. I think it used to be the Celtics. It's a little worse because JT got hurt and Drew Holiday left. But all our guards are huge except for D Fox, who's the fastest person on the court. So there's so much athleticism at the wings. It's hard to pick on anybody.
Everything you said is correct, man. The Spurs are scary. They're scary,
Bro,
man. I I love that they can really, really, really lock down on defense.
yeah,
I do think because they're a young team, they're going to have a trouble in the playoffs scoring the ball, but that trouble will be made up with their effort on the defense end because defense travels no matter how young you are. Victor
right,
Wembanyama is a generational, legendary, top five player. In the making.
yeah,
Do I think he's the best player in the NBA right now? No. I will still give that title to SGA. I will still put
yeah,
Jokic at two, but I think he's at three. I do believe that. I believe he is firmly at that third spot. I believe that he has the ability to leave this season as the undisputed best player in the NBA because I do believe, unlike at the beginning of the season, I do believe they are a real threat to OKC. I absolutely believe they can beat OKC. I think that the East is a three-team race, the West is a two-team race. In
yeah,
the East, it is the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Pistons. In the West, it is only the OKC Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. I do
yeah,
not think Denver's the actually I think Denver's lack of continuity, lack of camaraderie, and lack of playing together will come back to bite them in the playoffs, and that will get them sent home in the first or second round. I have been saying since Fred VanVleet got hurt, the
yeah.
Houston Rockets not having a point guard is going to cost them in the playoffs. Steph Curry is not playing basketball. Jimmy Butler is hurt, and they traded for Kristaps Porzingis instead of Giannis. The Lakers do not play defense, and they are better without LeBron on the court, and he's worth $1 billion. So you're not going to tell him how to play
Hold on,
basketball.
Kristaps Porzingis don't have an immune system, right? Is that like? I just wanted to throw that in there. That nigga, they traded for a nigga who don't got an immune system instead of Giannis.
Yeah, he missed games just whenever he feel like they just be like, yeah, he's sick again, so that's all we can do. So I don't know what they was thinking. They made the trade and they was like, yeah, we think he gonna get better with us. Okay, sure.
So
So that is how I feel. I am ecstatic about these playoffs. I'm ecstatic because I do think that those are the two heavyweight contenders and they will be in the Western Conference Finals. I also think a lot of these series will go seven because I don't think these teams are ahead of I don't think it's the Warriors of the early, mid 2010s and the Cavs in the mid 2010s situation. I just think it's the better teams with the best players that are going to win. But the other great players, the Anthony Edwards, the Nikola Jokic's, the Luka Doncic's, are but they're one, two, three. That's four, five, six. So,
yeah,
so the
yeah,
the playoffs will be extremely competitive. That was not me saying they will not be. I just expect those two teams to be in the conference finals. Um, I do want to move to OKC and not even move to them, but kind of bring them up in this conversation because of how amazing they have been. MVP
mhm,
candidate and probably back-to-back MVP winners. Shea is at 35, 6, 31, 6, and 4 right now.
mhm,
Has been leading this team, his second best player by far. Jalen Williams has missed 40 games. They still have the number one seed in the West, the best record in the NBA, and he has been leading the charge.
right.
I do want to give credit to that OKC team in general outside of SGA because they are tenacious. You said the Spurs have the best group of wings. It is OKC.
Yeah,
Those groups of wings, the Alex Caruso, Kaysen Wallace, I Wiggins. I cannot remember. I'm flipping on his name right now. I don't know why I can't remember his first. Aaron Wiggins. Aaron
Aaron.
Wiggins.
Yeah,
Aaron Wiggins. Isaiah Joe. Lou Dort.
mhm,
Jalen Williams when he's healthy. That group of wings is so fucking good. They are
yeah,
so fast and tenacious. They play 94 feet of defense. They can shoot the ball well. They can take you off the dribble. They make free throws. They're unselfish. And the most important thing in the fourth quarter, they know not to shoot the fucking ball.
that's a
It's
fact.
my favorite thing about OKC. And
They
when they
know
get
who the best
eight
player is.
minutes left, they
Yeah,
know That ball goes to number 2, and he
Yeah,
will tell us what to do after that. That
right.
I love OKC. I believe the style OKC plays can only be stopped by missed shots.
Yeah,
I believe it can only be stopped by Victor Wembanyama saying, "Yo, force SGA to beat us with mid-range jumpers." And I
yeah.
think he can do it. And I think he might do it. And if Jalen Williams comes back healthy, I will pick them in that series. If Jalen Williams is not healthy, the Spurs will be in the championship.
Yeah. They are on like a old fashioned collision course. And this is underrated for the NBA because we always talk about this doesn't happen. Like the Spurs and Thunder do have history too. Like maybe not
Yes.
just these teams, and I'll get to it now, and I'll get to like contemporary, but like a decade ago when the Thunder were the Thunder, the Spurs were the Spurs, and there were several wars between them. Teams that could have went to the finals, that should have went to the finals, didn't go to the finals. Teams that won championships that could, that didn't, that be able to beat the other. But like when we played this year, and you saw it, because I think the third time they won. And I think Shea was like, this is just another game. Everybody was riding up. He was trying to tell them just another game. But you saw in them first 3 games, both of them teams know, oh yeah, it's us.
It's
It's
us.
us. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
us or them. And all
Yeah.
3 of them games were played like that. And I like that Wimby don't like Chet. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that Stephon Castle get on SGA nerves. I love that
Yeah.
shit. There's
Yeah.
a real good old fashioned like real tension between these teams because OKC is not going anywhere. OKC is at the top right now. They're young. They're getting better. Jared McCain has been an amazing addition. Shout out to him
Amazing.
for getting healthy. And the Spurs are looking like, nigga, this could be us. The
Yeah.
Spurs are looking at OKC like what y'all did last year, we could do.
Yeah.
And that's how they're looking at it, where if we're gonna have to do it, we're gonna have to go through them. And I cannot wait to see it. And for me, just looking ahead in the playoffs as a Spurs fan, like I don't know. And of course, shout out to Mitch Johnson, done an amazing job for the Spurs coaching. I don't know how to look in the first couple rounds, like as you mentioned, because there's so many great players still left in the West that you really have to go into every single series, especially with a young team trying to play your best every single series. But I'm ready to see what Victor looked like when you take him out them chains,
Me
where
too.
Victor goes in knowing, yo, it's 38 minutes tonight. It's 40 if
Yes.
we need you. Like
Yes.
it's like I want to see what that looks like in him
Me too.
because that is the one remaining question with Victor is, yo, what is this going to look like in the playoffs? What does this
Yeah.
look like when the game slows down? So now the best half court defender ever to play is getting more half court defensive possessions as opposed to less, or when the game is way more physical, how is that going to wear you down over 4 straight series? So I think that's probably what I'm most excited for.
I am as well, man. And I will be remiss not to mention SGA breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record of 20 straight point games. I
Yeah,
think he's at 124, and he's probably going to get 20 against Boston. So 124, 125. A
yeah,
ridiculous record. It's some records in the NBA that get broken, like, man, and some other records that get broken that are like, that's
yeah,
more so of an era thing. And it was like the Con Knipper rookie record is an era thing. Like
yeah.
that's not he's just the best rookie shooter ever.
Right.
I would say James Harden and Klay Thompson passing Reggie Miller and Ray Allen in 3-point shots is an era thing. They were shooting.
Right.
I was I was looking at some 90s basketball stats. The league leader in 3-point attempts in the middle of the 90s was taking 7 attempts a game.
That's
so,
crazy.
so
That's
that just
8 plays
shows
from
you
him.
you feel So it's a different era, but that record that is incredible.
Yeah,
The Kobe's longest streak was, I believe, 52 games. Steph's longest streak is 30 games. Bron is like 64. KD's is 72. Mike's is 72. Like they didn't touch 80, 90, 100. Like Shea is at 124 games. That
yeah,
is unreal consistency.
yeah,
He is at a peak for a guard that is on a handful that is in a handful list.
yeah.
I'm talking
Shea is especially active at once this season ends. Shea is in living legend status. If he wins this MVP,
yes,
whether they win the title or not, Shea is on the short list of the 5 best point guards in the NBA. And you'd be hard
yes.
pressed to find 5 ahead of Shea right now, honestly.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
it's hard to, when you start looking at his accolades the last few years, it's hard to say that it's five guards better than him in NBA history. Like,
yeah,
it obviously, if he goes back to back MVP, back to back finals MVP,
yeah,
what are we waiting on?
yeah.
Like, what are we waiting
Especially
on?
especially because a lot of MVP winners weren't winning the championship in their MVP season. Like only a
Yes,
couple have been able to do that. Like Steph did it, Shea did
yes,
it, but like Jokic did the year Jokic won.
no,
Jokic didn't win MVP. Same thing when you got like
yes.
Giannis. It's hard.
Yes, it's very hard. So, man, oh man, dog, that he is joining some elite company. I believe
Yeah,
OKC, San Antonio are the top two threats, for sure. Moving to the East, I want to give a silent clap because we on Zoom, so it'll sound horrible. I want to give a silent clap. Jason Tatum, man, welcome back, man.
yeah.
Welcome,
Welcome back, man.
welcome back, man. That what a fucking Herculean
Yeah.
effort,
The,
dog.
the
My God,
anomaly. The anomaly.
phenomenally, dog. Like, wow, 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 wow. Jason Tatum is back. He looks like he's come back from an injury off a year, and like he's one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because the way he looks is like you shouldn't be scoring all these points yet. But you're better
Yeah.
than everybody else, so you still are. He's going to be fine. I think Jason Tatum is going to be fine. Do I think we get peak 46 against Giannis, Jason Tatum this year? Nah, that'll come next year. But I do think he'll be back around 24, 26 games by the time we get to the playoffs. How are you feeling about the Celtics?
Yeah, ironically perfect time. The Celtics and the Spurs just played. Shout out to Jalen Brown, who absolutely lost his mind in the first quarter and got ejected because of a shove in the back that he received. But it's so funny because he got JB got ejected. And I was like, oh, I guess we get to watch JT now. Like
Yeah.
just JT by himself, like, oh, we need you to score. Like, well, not even that Joe Mazzulla is like, hey, we need you to score. Jason Tatum being the best player in the world in his mind, like I need to score, and
Yes.
and he looked good. He had tough shots. JC is super fluid still. He's super big now. He won't have the bounce that he did before, but I feel like he's gonna still be more fluid than KD was in Brooklyn, just because his build is a little different. And the thing with JT is a lot of it, like it's so weird. It was just bag work anyway, right? It wasn't really relying on the athleticism to create the advantage. It was getting the spots, getting the shots, getting to things I'm comfortable with that you're okay with me shooting. And he hit 4 or 5 legit tough shots, I feel like, versus the Spurs. That was just like, yeah, that's Jason Tatum. Like, it just, I'm super happy for him. It's amazing he's come back already. I can't believe they let him play, but Joe Mazzulla is a psycho, so I'm sure he had something to do with this too. Like, but
Yeah.
great for
I
him.
will say your point about separation is so important because, dog, I can't tell you how many times I've said, dog, you're 6'10". Why do you keep shooting contested jumpers? Well,
Yeah,
now that's gonna pay off.
yeah,
so
right.
so I'm expecting the Celtics to be right back in contention, and I will tell you now, I will say it loud, I will say it proud, and I mean it. The Celtics and the San Antonio Spurs will be your 2026 NBA Finals matchup. I know everybody thinks
Mm.
we're going to get a back to back. People have Lee Peyton Pritchard did it again, dog. He did it again. But
What
he
a
had
wow! Shout
another
out
three
Payne
to go
Pritchard
into the
though.
half. That is
Yeah,
crazy, bro. But
yeah,
we are in the era of parity. I do not think OKC will be the first team to go back to back, despite how legendary, how amazing Shea is. And I do still think he's the best player in the world. But I
mhm,
believe Wemby will take over the title, the best player in the world. I believe Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum will go down as one of the 5 to 7 greatest duos, and they will end up back in the championship. And when
yeah.
I have to see how healthy Jason Tatum is before I pick a winner. But I do think with just him on the court, they will be
Yeah.
back in the championship.
You know, it's funny. It's crazy how alike we are because I feel like I had the Celtics earlier this year. Last time we predicted this,
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Pistons. I really like the Pistons, man.
Wow.
And I it
Wow.
was kind of the Spurs game, but then I dug into like kind of the Cade stuff to see where he is because I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to figure out a top five, and I saw a stat that was like Cade has assisted for like 300 dunks. And I was like, for a team without a huge secondary scorer, they are so physical downhill that they create a bunch of free points. And I feel like them getting in the rhythm of creating the hidden points within the game will translate to the playoffs so much better than like the Tobias Harris baseline ISO they've been running for the last 5 years. I think it'll be Spurs Pistons rematch 2005. Shout out my nigga Barry.
Wow. Okay. I'm not mad at that. We'll get more into that in a few weeks because that's a very that's my second pick. I was
Yeah.
on the phone with my dad last week and I picked the Pistons. So I'm teetering back and forth. Right now I'm on the Celtics because of the Pistons' lack of shooting. I do think
Right.
their physicality and the fact that they have been playing without the shooting all year. There's not one thing where you lost Ray Allen and Klay Thompson and now your team can't shoot anymore. This is, hey, from game one, we haven't been able to shoot and we are the number one seed. So clearly we can win without the shooting. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's as big a deal as people like to make it out to be. But I do think against a team like the Celtics that shoots a lot of threes and connects on a lot of threes, it will be important. So we're gonna see. And lastly, I will say if the Pistons get the number one seed and they have it right now. If they hang on to the number one seed, that does change my opinion. It probably will sway my opinion a lot. And obviously Jason Tatum's health. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in the East. Poor Knicks fans, man. They thought it was a year. Poor Knicks fans.
Yeah, no, man. No, man.
um,
Shouts to
but
Cat Jordan Woods for getting married, though.
shout out to Cat, man. That
Yeah,
boy, she fine. Asia
yeah,
Wilson, Jordan Woods, man. Look at the women, man. But before we get out of here, top five MVP candidates.
yes, sir. At number five, I'm gonna have Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown, if Tatum didn't come back, this is why this is a narrative award. Tatum don't come back is a different narrative, but up to this point has been one of the five best players in the league. Playing amazing, picking up for Tatum slack, becoming the number one. At number four, I still have Jokic. I mean, missing the entire team, probably the best player ever. Like, still 30 points a game, the most efficient player, top to bottom, every single night. Completely amazing. Hold on, I'm missing somebody at three. I'm missing somebody at three. Oh, there we go. Number three, quietly, Anthony Edwards still. Anthony Edwards per game production, he's had the moments, he's had the game winners, the sequences, box office. It's Anthony Edwards. Really can't say too much about it. Like, no
Mhm.
superlative for Anthony Edwards is not like correct at this point. Has the narrative with Adidas, has everything you love. Your favorite Hooper's favorite Hooper. Number two, this is where my bias kicks in. I'm gonna go SGA. Played amazing, about to break the world record. 30 a game, missing your second best player, still the number one seed. And at number one, I'm gonna go Victor Wembanyama. Most valuable player taking this team. They've been the best team for the last 2 months in the West. Better than OKC, trying to catch the first seed, but best defender we've ever seen. And doing this on a very small diet of dominating the ball. He's able to dominate the game, kind of like how old niggas talk about Bill Russell, where it's like, yeah, he was just really good at these 8 things 10 times and we lost. Amazing player, lifted everyone's around him. Everyone has become way better just with Victor being more aggressive, playing downhill, not settling. But if he does settle like he does versus the Celtics, he hit 8 threes, 7 threes. There's nothing Victor Wembanyama cannot do in the court.
Absolutely. All right. At five for me, I am going to go Cade Cunningham. I think he's having a great year. He's at 25, 9, and 5 right now. I do believe Cade Cunningham in the next 5 years will win MVP. I thought it would be this year. But with some people making some late resurgence, I do have him at 5. Number 4, same spot for me, Jokic. Jokic is having an incredible year. But as I say with MVP, if you're going to be a multi-time MVP, your second, third, fourth MVP, you have to do something you haven't done before. Nikola Jokic is still just being the greatest player we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're compared to your own greatness.
Yeah.
And number 3, I have Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama, despite his impact, who I do think this is not the most impactful. I do think he might be the most impactful and the most dominant player in the NBA, but because of his minutes restriction, because of the time he has missed, and because he is not the number one seed like SGA, I cannot have him at number 1 right now. So at number 2, I have Jalen Brown, who has been missing, has come in with a completely different team. The only player that has returns from last year. Essentially, his roster that was a key piece last year is Derek White and their coach Joe Mazzulla, who deserves Coach of the Year honors. But
Right.
Jaylen Brown is at 28 a game, career high in damn near everything, 28, 7, and 5. He has been leading that team that is not ultra talented. It is just playing great team basketball, and he is leading. So he is in number 2, but in number 1, we're still going with the best player in the NBA, the best point guard / shooting guard in the NBA, and somebody I think will go down as a top 10 player ever, SGA, 31 a game, best player in the NBA, number 1 seed, best record in the NBA, and his second best player has missed 40 games. I don't know how he's not the MVP. Can he still lose it to Victor Wembanyama and Jaylen Brown? I do think he can. Will he? No.
Right. Yeah, no.
But all right, you got anything else, Twin?
Oh, no, that's it for me.
Hell yeah! What an episode! What an episode! We had to get that out. I haven't
Yeah.
talked sports with Ish in a week and a half, and so much shit has happened.
Yeah.
So I had to get that out. I'm glad we did that.
So much has happened the last 2 days.
Right, bruh. Right, bruh. Next week we'll be back on schedule. We won't be catching up and doing things in the future and everything. So we'll be back on schedule next week, back to our regular schedule program. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Please subscribe to the Patreon. That's Ish. I'm Rock. I'm Rock. That's Ish. In a world full of hate, let your light be loved. In the industry full of copycats, we are some 101s. This is the show about nothing. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We're out.